Republicans are talking paid family leave. That's right, Republicans. Take a look.
Our proposal would let new parents pull forward a portion of their Social Security benefits for 1, 2, or 3 months of paid parental leave after the birth or adoption of a child.
One of the things I like about this is not only that it helps these young families that are having children, but also it's something that doesn't add to the national debt.
We believe that this is, again, a conservative, responsible solution that will best help our next generation of working parents without overburdening our government.
All right, I'm not quite sure how that works, and how you would take money that is in Social Security and earmark it to this. Social Security, last time I checked, they're worried about it running out of dough down the road. But again, there could be a lot of figures on this that I am missing. Let's go to the Independent Women's Forum's Patrice Leonwuka, who says that the plan would pay for itself. Patrice, how would it do that?
Well, it's meant to be budget neutral, Neil, which means that while young workers would take some money out of the system now, they would be paying it over the lifetime or their work career, paying back that money. And so it's meant to be, it evens out in the long term. And what's great about that idea is that it's not adding any additional money to the debt, but also it's no new tax on workers or employers to fund this program. It's self-funding, and I think that's why conservatives are taking a second look. The bill that was introduced today is the second bill that we've seen in the past couple of weeks using this idea of Social Security earned leave to be able to fund time off for new parents. You know, it's interesting, Marco Rubio, I remember when he had that tax credit for young parents and he was pursuing that, a lot of other Republicans, maybe a more conservative nature, didn't like it. They thought it was a bad idea. 2 Democrats, some of them said, but this sort of approach that some, not all Republicans are taking, would be an interesting signal to send Democrats in 2020. What do you think? It would be. I mean, right now, the only federal plan that Democrats have put on the table is the Family Act, and that is entirely a tax on new workers and employers. And so, you know, conservatives have always supported people working, and particularly women staying in the workforce if they want to. And this is a way to ensure that if you don't have paid time off provided by your employer, you can actually take the money that you're paying already into Social Security and use it and leverage that money when you need it. Again, no new mandates on business. No new taxes on workers, which is fantastic, and it's budget neutral. All right, hope springs eternal, but I always worry about, for those who take advantage of it, they're young, obviously, for the most part. So would this come out of their plan, Social Security, and the understanding is that they've made good on that by the time they're ready for retirement? Well, that's the idea. I mean, generally, you can put parameters. Congress can put parameters on who is able to take it. People who've demonstrated that they've already put some money into the system, so to speak. And you know, we get that this is not a traditional 401k plan or savings plan where you put money out and it builds over time, you get money back. But it's leveraging the idea of making Social Security more flexible for the needs of workers at a time when they need it most. I mean, when you retire, you probably have more income than you do when you're a young worker, but you really want to start a family. You know, let me switch gears if you don't mind, but while I have you here, sure. The president's been talking about, especially the Justice Department, getting rid of the Affordable Care Act, the Barack Obama health care, whatever you want to call it, Obamacare. And there are 20 million plus who have that right now. And I guess the concern among some Republicans who were caught off guard by this move is that they don't have anything to replace it yet. Now, obviously, they have to have a mechanism in place to take care of those who would see their insurance eventually go away. But what are you hearing about that? How realistic is that? What do you think? Well, I mean, I think he's trying to make good on a promise that conservatives have been making for a number of electoral cycles. And you know what? The administration has been making several different mandates or different provisions, changing provisions in healthcare right now to make the system more flexible for people to be able to buy insurance plans over state lines or to, you know, pool small employers doing that. But Democrats would have to go along with that, right? And they don't like that whole insurance across state lines thing. I don't know why, it would be very cost effective, but so how far would this go? I mean, obviously it's a third rail for Republicans to address. I commend the president for even discussing it, but it could boomerang. That's how Democrats like to say that they picked up 40 seats in the House, pounding this issue. What do you think the fallout will be? Well, I mean, if conservatives can put forward some of the ideas that they've been talking about for quite a while now,
Right.
then I don't think it's going to hurt them. I mean, look at what Democrats ran on in 2018. They ran on health care. Conservatives actually do have ideas on how to improve the health care system without expanding it to become Medicare for or Medicaid for all and Medicare for all. And so they need to actually pony up at this point. The administration, though, has been using its administrative tools in trying to make some tweaks and expand some coverage in different areas. But I think it's a good time for conservatives to also look back at, their old playbook and some of the ideas that have been floated in the past, and then bring those to the table. If they do, I think that strengthens their position for 2020.
All right, we shall see. Patrice, great catching up with you.
Same here, Neil.
All right, Patrice Lee Onwuka, the Independent Women's Forum.